By this point, you will have completed task 1 on durable and non-durable goods. So we are now going to move on to the business cycle. Again, there's a little pencil in the corner, so please make sure that you're taking down these notes. The first stage of the business cycle is that businesses identify, usually through market research, what the consumer needs and wants. Once they've found that out, they'll decide to make some goods and services in order to satisfy them. The next stage of the business cycle is that the business employ the factors of production, now don't worry, we've not looked at that yet, to produce the desired goods and services. In doing so, they create wealth for themselves, wealth for their employees. The third stage is the wages from employment, so the employees getting paid allow them to go consume their own goods and services. As we've discussed before, consumers do have needs, but they also have unlimited wants that change all the time. So what happens is that it goes back to the very start. The business will then try and identify those new needs and wants and will make new goods and services in order to satisfy them. Again, just pause to copy this down. Looking at two new terms, we've got production and consumption. Production is the process of making goods so that they can actually be consumed, or perhaps go on to another stage of production depending on what industry that you're in, but we'll look at that later. A good example could be thinking about fish, as they cannot be eaten until they go through several stages of production to make them safe. So obviously catching the fish, gutting them and making them available to consumers at market stalls and retailers. On the other hand, we have consumption, which is basically us just purchasing our goods and services. Make sure you copy this down. There may be several businesses involved in the production of goods. So for example, the production of a cream cake could include the following processes. First of all, the farmer produces the wheat. The miller then takes that wheat and produces flour. The baker then buys that flour to produce the cream cakes. They then might sell it on to a retailer who then sells the cake to you, the buyer, who consumes said cakes. We call this creating wealth. It occurs at every stage of the production process. So each producer adds value so that the total value of the cream cakes will be much more than just the original component. So the cream cake's worth more than perhaps just the wheat or just the cream or just the sugar. So each stage creates more total wealth than the previous stage. Wealth is created by adding value at each stage of production. Value is added to the cost price by, first of all, processing, and second of all, marking up goods to make a profit. By adding value, firms can first of all pay their workforce, who then have money of their own to spend. Second of all, give a return to the owners. And then third of all, reinvest some of that profit to continue to produce goods and services so that the business can survive and go on. We're now about to move on to our second task. The wealth of a country is determined by its business activity. The more goods and services a country can produce, the wealthier that country becomes. Thus, the more we produce, the better off we become. I would like you now to pause this video and complete your second task. It's called Wealth Creation ICT. You can do this on word processor, or you could just draw it out on a piece of paper, but make sure you hand it in to your teacher. Lastly, we'll look at some revision. So I'm going to direct you to a website that gives you some revision tasks. We're going to do 3 tasks on this website. We're going to do one on needs and wants, goods and services, and the chain of production. So I'll show you how to get onto that just now. First, open up your web browser. Type in businessed.co.uk. You'll notice here at the side, the toolbar, I want you to click on Activities, Activities by Topic, and scroll down until you go to Business Terms. In this business terms, there's need or want, good or service, and then again scroll down for your chain of production task, which is this one here. Once you've completed these tasks, I'd like you to take a screenshot and then send it to your teacher. So thank you very much, and I will see you next lesson.